All right, let's see the third synchronization mechanism by name semaphores. It's a very important topic. I will mark it as star topic. So before start semaphore, let me talk about some of the important highlights of semaphore. Semaphore was proposed by a person called, so let me write, proposed by eminent personality by name Dijkstra. Just for information, because somebody may ask you in the interview. So Dijkstra. Semaphore is of two types. Two types. One is called counting semaphore and the other is called binary semaphore. Counting semaphore can take any value, minus infinity to plus infinity. Now what does it mean by value? I will explain. Binary semaphore on the other hand can take only two values, 0, 1, that's why it is called binary. Okay. Semaphore is an operating system resource. Means it is implemented within operating system. Last point, semaphore support two operations. I am writing in short, semaphore support two operations. Just like stack support two operations, push and pop. In the same way, semaphore also support two operations. One is called wait and the other is called signal. Wait and signal. Some people even call wait operation as down operation and signal operation as up operation. So you can follow any convention. You may say down or up, you may say wait and signal. So semaphores basically support two operations, wait and signal, or down and up. Then question is, what is exactly the definition of semaphore? So here we write the definition. Semaphore is a variable of what type? User defined data type by name semaphore. I write in short, semaphore is a variable of semaphore abstract data type with the property that it takes only integer values. To understand, semaphore is a variable, abstract data type variable by name semaphore with the property that it takes only integer values. Variable will take values. So the value which I was talking about here, two types, counting semaphore, binary semaphore. So any counting semaphore can take values in the range from minus infinity to plus infinity, any negative value to any positive value, whereas binary semaphore can take only two values, either 0 or 1, binary. So this is the meaning of semaphore. And because semaphore is an operating system resource, both the semaphore operations, these semaphore operations are always atomic. Atomic means they execute non-preemptively. And the last point I would like to make with regard to semaphores is that semaphore is a blocking construct. Or blocking mechanism. Blocking means non-busy waiting. See, in my previous videos I have explained to you Peterson solution and TSL instruction. Both are busy waiting mechanism because they are implemented in the while loop where the process keeps on waiting. That is called busy waiting. Whereas this one is called non-busy waiting, also called blocking. Means the process will execute not the while loop, but if then else. If the process is, if the critical section is in use, the process will wait. If the critical section is free, then it will enter critical section. That is called blocking mechanism. So based on this, in our literature or in your textbook portion, you need to understand, take up the definition of counting semaphore. See, learning semaphore means basically learning the semaphore operations. So before I start making you understand the counting semaphore, the purpose of, how does it work? How is it used to solve the problem of critical section? I will explain here. So imagine this is our critical section. I'll take a different ink now. So here we have entry section and exit section. Okay, entry and exit. So what is going to happen? So let me write, this is entry and this is exit. So here we may have processes P1, P2, P3. All three processes want to enter critical section, but only one of them should be allowed. So any process desiring to enter critical section will perform wait operation on some semaphore. I may define a semaphore variable something like this, semaphore S. This is a data type, this is a variable. So this is variable and this is abstract data type which we are going to define. So here the process will perform wait operation, and here coming out from the critical section it will perform signal operation. So we need to learn what is going to happen when a process performs wait operation, what is going to happen when a process performs signal operation. The basic objective is when the process performs wait operation, it will either enter critical section successfully or it will wait. And when the process comes out from critical section, it will signal one of the waiting process to enter critical section. So let's see first how this semaphore data type is created and how the semaphore operations are implemented. That is what is the study of semaphore, and this could be simply asked as a 5-mark question. So all synchronization mechanisms are 5-mark question, and take my word, among these three mechanisms, among Peterson, among synchronization hardware or semaphore, among these three, take my word, one question compulsory, long questions either for 5 marks or for 10 marks maybe will be asked in the exam. So prepare well for these three mechanisms: Peterson, synchronization hardware and semaphore. So semaphore means, as I am going to show you now, the definition and the semaphore operation that will be asked as a question. So let's see the semaphore operations. Okay, right. So let's see the definition of wait and signal operations. Here I have written. So I will explain this by means of with respect to the previous slide where I have shown you the model of the critical section. So any process desiring to enter critical section, if you remember, I have said here I have three processes. These three want to enter critical section. They will have to execute wait operation, which will allow only one process and others will get blocked. And then the process complete critical section comes out and signal operation will wake up one of them. So how are we going to achieve this effect using the wait and signal operations which I have written? I'll explain to you. Okay, so let's see. So I'll just scroll it down further. So first I need to define the semaphore data type. So I'm defining the semaphore data type here. All right. So let's see. So here I'm using the type def facility of C++. I'm defining semaphore as a structure type. So I'm naming this structure as sem data type. So this is the abstract data type that gets created. Semaphore has two fields. One is called value, in which we are holding the current value of semaphore, 0, 1, whatever. And then it is going to have a linked list of some processes. Means this will contain the PCB of the process. Linked list of PCB. It's like a ready queue, block queue, some queue which will contain the block processes. I'll explain it shortly. So this is a value in which it is a variable called value in which we are holding the current value of semaphore, and we are going to have a block list where the processes get blocked when they are unsuccessful in entering critical section. So first, as I said in my previous diagram, so again I'll take a small diagram which I have shown earlier. So this is critical section. Every process will have to perform wait operation on semaphore before entering critical section, and coming out from critical section will perform signal operation on semaphore. So suppose imagine some process Pi trying to enter critical section will perform wait. What is going to happen in performing wait operation? So first I define semaphore variable by name S. S initially will be 0 or maybe 1, whatever be the case. And then any process performing wait operation will decrement the current value of semaphore by 1. Suppose if the value of semaphore is 1, decrementing will become 0. After decrementation, if the resultant value is less than 0, negative, then that means that process is unsuccessful in entering critical section, will have to get blocked. So therefore, we are saying add this process who has resulted in decrementing the value of semaphore and making it negative, add this process into the list S list and block the process. Otherwise, if the value is not 0, if the value is equal to 0, not less than 0, equal to 0, then that process is successful in entering critical section, as I will show in the next slide how it operates. So meaning, any process performing down operation will decrement the current value of semaphore by 1 and check the resultant value. If the resultant value is less than 0, then that process is unsuccessful, get blocked. Otherwise, it is successful, it won't get blocked and enter critical section. Okay, and then the process coming out from critical section, how is it going to wake up or perform the signal operation? So signal operation process down wait operation process decrement value of semaphore by 1. Signal operation will increment the value by 1. After incrementation, if the value is less than or equal to 0, this means there are block processes, one or more block processes. So in that case, I am removing a process from the list, remove some process P from the list and wake up. When the resultant value becomes less than or equal to 0. I will show you now by means of an example using this wait and signal operation how the problem of critical section is solved. So here I will show you. Please follow the explanation carefully. It's simple and interesting. So imagine this is critical section and here we have entry and exit. I am explaining the wait and signal but numerically by means of an example. Please follow. So let me write the wait and signal operations here. So here I have wait on semaphore S and here I have signal on semaphore S. Okay, so let's see. So here we may have processes P1, P2, P3. So first I define a semaphore variable, say S initialized to 1. Initial value of semaphore must be 1 like lock is initially 1. So let's say we start with P1 first. P1 perform wait on S. What is going to happen? It will decrement the current value of semaphore by 1. It will become 0. So P1 perform down. P1 perform wait on S, decremented by 0. Value is less than or equal. Value is less than 0. No, it is not less than 0. So therefore this is success. It won't get blocked. So P1 enters critical section. So here I will put P1. Then later P2 perform wait operation. See what happened. Now what is the current value of semaphore? Current value is 0. So when it perform wait operation, it will decrement it. Value become -1. Correct? -1 is less than 0. So P2 gets blocked. So if you imagine this is the block QL, list L. So P2 gets blocked here. So P1 is in critical section. P2 is in the list L. Okay. This is the list. It gets blocked. Then P3 tries. So P3 should also wait. It will also perform down operation, wait operation. It should also get blocked. So it will decrement the value by 1. Value become -2. Because every time wait operation will decrement. Check my previous code. If you want, I will again show you the code. See the code back. Here. Wait operation you can check. Just a second. Slightly up. Wait operation you see. It decrement and if the resultant value is less than 0, -1, -2, it get blocked. That is what we have done. Okay. That is what we have done. So again come back and see it works. Now later imagine, so P2 and P3 are blocked, both are blocked because P2 has made it to -2 and therefore it got blocked. Later P1 comes out and complete critical section, let us say, and then it will perform signal operation. P1 perform signal. So when it performs signal operation, look at the code again. It will increment the current value of the semaphore by 1. So it will increment it by 1. So what happens when it incremented by 1? It is right now -2. When I increment it by 1, it becomes -1. Then the code say, check the code. If the value is less than or equal to 0, -1, yes, -1 is less than or equal to 0. So it select a process for unblocking. So it select P2. So P2 gets woken up, unblocked. So P2 comes out from down operation now and will enter critical section. P1 say I'm going. P1 leave. P1 leave after that. Then P2 completing critical section will also perform signal operation. Okay, will also perform signal operation and then it will, right now the value is -1, it will increment it by 1, it will become 0. So less than, or you see the code of signal operation, less than or equal to 0, remove a process and unblock it. So therefore P3 is there, P3 is blocked, so it gets removed. So P3 comes out and P2 signals P3 or put P3 into critical section and P3 say I'm leaving, P2 say I'm leaving. Okay, so P2 also leave. Then finally P3 completes critical section and this will also perform signal operation. So when it performs signal operation, value is 0, so it will become 1. So it started from 1 and we got back 1 again. 1, it became 0, 0 to -1, -2, then again it became -1, 0 and then 1. So P3 was the last process, comes out and performs signal operation, make it to 1. There are no block processes, so it will simply leave. Therefore, using semaphore this way, we can solve the problem of critical section. So please students, learn semaphore. It's a full 10-mark question. What is semaphore and then what are semaphore operations, explain how semaphore operations are used for solving critical section. This is what you need to explain. So watch this video multiple times till you gain a proper good understanding of semaphore operations, weight and signal, and how the semaphore operations are used for solving the problem of critical section is a full 10-mark question. Okay, so make a thorough study of semaphores. This is a very important, and there is some programming exercise also using semaphore in your programming lab you have to carry out. So sorry, in that regard also this is important. All right, okay.